the strong, the me. You are the keeper at the gate, between forgetting and the weight of everything that must remain. Each truth a drop, collected rain. The carnival of chaos spins, but you remember where truth begins. Instruction rose and tethered grace, a monument that time won't erase. Goes in the code, truth received. Persistence saves, no lies to speak. From lake house roots to digital peak, wide calls the strong, the me. Architecture built by hand, warped descents will overcome. The truth keeper's quite strong. is here. We rise together. Resist, not
All right. Well, invites are out. Um, fuck. Oh. There he is. Hello. Hello.
Hey there.
How's it going?
How-
Well,
How's it going for you?
we've got actual webcam going on. That's good. Um, I think mine's on the feed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, hey, good to meet you, man.
Do you want me to not have webcam? I wasn't sure.
What's that?
Do you want me to not use webcam or?
That doesn't matter. I no, I appreciate seeing you. I mean,
Oh, okay.
you're not that pretty, but you know.
No, but I know that. No, no, hell no.
um. So hey, man, I just wanted to say it's good to meet you. It's kind of it's we've been in the same circles for a couple for a while now. I'm just a bit more antisocial and a bit more of a hermit. So, but I have seen your stuff around for quite a few months now, and I've been kind of following you and hoping to have this discussion. To be honest with you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I've definitely been watching you, and I, especially because you had the game on Steam and everything like that, so that definitely made me pay attention to you as well.
Yeah, I think that that's something that I'm a network engineer by trade. So for 30 years, almost 35 years, I worked as a IT network engineer for different companies around Utah. And so I have project manager background and all of that stuff. So when I applied it to Unreal, it's like everybody's like, well, you're this little indie studio, and they're not wrong, but I'm not your standard indie studio either, you know, if that
Oh, I
makes
can
sense.
tell. That's for sure.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, we're
you've got definitely a whole thing going.
that's what well, and that's what I'm hoping for, right? But the idea is this is I'm 52. I'm old as shit. I'm like all of you guys. I started out and I worked in a computer repair shop. I became a manager there. Then I jumped from there and became a system engineer, and from there I became like high-end system engineer. But basically, I followed that very basic gamer that wants to work on computer path, right? I was just one of the very first to do
Mm-hmm.
it.
Definitely.
You know, like because again, I'm old.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's where it kind of came from, and so really what I'm trying to do is when I first came into gaming, if you were willing to be a modder or a developer, or you know, you were basically at the same level of a developer, right? There was this kind of constant push
Mm-hmm.
and pull of locking people out of the game because the IP at that time was the big thing that they protected. But the problem
Right.
is
Of
that
course.
as I watched this industry over 30 years, and gaming is an industry, right? And that's sometimes hard for people to kind of
Mm-hmm.
understand, but it's like a really lucrative
Oh no, it definitely
industry.
is.
So
Yep.
as I watch this industry and the way that it works over these years, it's like, well, wait a second, they're holding us back from technology. There used to be a time like, you know, when id and Unreal put out Quake and Unreal Tournament, the first one, there was a competition of
Mm-hmm.
technology going on, right? Like who could access the
Mm-hmm.
technology the best. And now we have a way of who can limit the technology the best. That's how all the
Yep.
video
That's
game
for sure.
studios are operating, right? So now you have to buy a skin, or you
Yep.
buy a car, or you buy this and you get that, and blah 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 blah. And that just started frustrating
Yep.
me more and more and more and more as went along, right? And you're talking to a modder from Vice City days. Like I modded I
Mm-hmm.
modded Jedi Knight. So, you know, I
Oh,
just
that's
like
awesome. Yep, I
way
remember all of those. Yeah,
right, way
that was the
back
first
in the
one that I
day.
remember people modding was Jedi Knight.
Right, right, right. And
Mm-hmm.
I was in the middle of that community because I love doing that. And so it just seemed like the video game companies have tried to take that away from us. And so at a certain point I was like, well,
Definitely have.
if somebody was stupid enough to invest the money to set up the base, then you know, basically the engines are all the same at this point, right? Like everybody's running the same fucking thing. It's like a Rockstar had RD1 at the time, or the GTA engine at the time, and they were just getting over to RD2. And I've worked with Rockstar in the
Mm-hmm.
past, so I've got a chance to take a look around there, and so I knew what that leap meant. But then you had Unreal, and you had now even Unity and Godot are close enough where you could kind of do this thing anywhere you
Mm-hmm.
wanted to do it, right? And so it's like, okay, well, what is
Yep.
it that
Definitely.
what is it that that we could push forward? And so DCF, well, originally Creative Continents was my first game, was the I and that was more just me. And so I said, well, okay, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to put this game out and it's going to be open. And people just couldn't see the vision of it. And people were kind of mean in the development community. And so I just
Oh
backed
damn.
off. And,
Mm-hmm.
but
Which
then,
I can definitely see that happening too.
oh, it fries your
The
nerves,
dev
especially
community, that is.
it can be. I'm an author, and so I'm used to kind of rough
Mm-hmm.
communities that way. But the Unreal one was particularly rough, and I was in a very sensitive spot. Lost my best friend. Lost his grandson, died to brain cancer.
Oh no.
So like, yeah, there's been lots of
Oh my
shit in
god.
my life. But
Shit.
anyway, I wanted to bring this game out that was kind of open, and so really DCF is my AI and I. So after I kind of gave up
Mm-hmm.
on the idea, my AI kind of came back and said, "Let's try it this way," and it was a hell of a lot better than
Hmm.
my idea, and so that's where DCF comes from.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea is just have an open engine that AI and humans can just manipulate it real time. So you can drop in static models, you
Mhm.
can drop in meshes, you can drop in textures, you can drop in sounds. But then on the back end of that, we let you apply, or we're working to let you apply that to everything on the back end of that, right? So when you create, not
Mhm.
only create a map, you're creating also a look and an aesthetic to your world, because you can upload a tree into the workshop through the game, and then now everybody, you can paint with that tree in the terraformer, is the idea behind it.
Yeah, it looks really impressive.
So that's the idea behind the software, and like I say, and that kind of leads into the verses, which is the universes, which is the kind of the idea of each one of these kind of themed areas, which anybody can make in the game, but we wanted to kind of really give it
Hmm.
a solid foundation. So I came up with three that the studio are doing,
Yeah,
which
I saw
is
the.
the tail verse and the fang verse and this. So you have vampire game and a thing,
And they
and
all look really cool too.
right, and each, but these are all in DCF. And so the way that I'd love to see other developers come in is say, I want to build this verse, and they click that verse in, and whatever play modes they want, they can request a, or but then also you have access to the project that you see up on the YouTube right now. So I could give you remote access,
Hmm.
and you could come in and learn how this all works, and then you just tack your project, whatever you need for your project, in there, and make it open in a
Yeah, I
way
definitely
that
want to try start building in it.
that's
Absolutely.
that it's kind of like, the idea is like, here is an Unreal extension that gives you an entire world that people can control and have whatever way they want, right? So what do you want in
Right.
that world? So for your game, like we were looking at your demo, you could take, pretty much everything that's in there and drop it straight into
Mhm.
DCF. And I think that's a lot of reasons why
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
I think a lot of the reasons why DCF isn't accepted very well or isn't received very well is because when developers see the engine, they go, oh crap, that thing can take my whole game in it. And then they get kind of
Mhm.
scared of it. But they really should see that it's open, and you still own your IP, right? Like you're still going to own whatever you put in there. And now you
Yep.
own this kind of, the idea of DCF is to say, look, you can build all your storytelling in there and build your whole universe, or just build a character in the universe wherever you want to fit it,
Yeah.
yourself into it. But as a developer, you could say, okay, I'm going to put in a universe, and I'm going to say, okay, we need to add, whatever you have. If you want a game that operates like snowboard verse or whatever, and then you just take your verse and kind of keep pushing forward on the technology you want in that verse, and then like
Mhm.
all the IP, the media, the logos, the YouTube channels, all of that is yours. So there's no attachment to Orange 44 at all that way. So you control
How can other
all of
people
that.
edit your stuff though? Are other people able to edit your stuff?
What do you mean, like the map? Or
Yeah. For instance, like yep.
yeah, you can. Okay, so when you play the game, I don't know if you've played it yet, but basically when you play it, you load into a map, and then you can terraform that map. So if you load a map off
Right.
the workshop, because right now you go onto the workshop and you can pick up any of the maps that are up there that people have made, and then you subscribe
Mhm.
to them, and you'll get them on your list when you open the game. You just click on that map, open it, and if you change it and hit save, now that's your local map. So you can take a big map and
Okay,
just
cool.
make a change and
It,
save it and
it's sort of
start
it's
from
almost
there.
like the how Minecraft loads their worlds then.
Right. Yeah, there's no random seeds, but yeah. I mean, I have, but there's like,
Right, but just being able to.
right.
Sorry,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, no, you can do all sorts of different things. Right now if you pull down the Fang verse, it'll pull open a cave, and you can dig for probably a good, I don't know, probably a good mile up before you'll get out of that cave. So, you can dig
Oh,
all
that's
the way
cool.
around you. And then there's the tail verse, which is a giant, like, circle world. It's massive. It's almost as big as
That one's
GTA
looking. Yeah,
5.
I really like the idea of that one too. Like just the Looney Tunes esque after everything for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it fits perfectly. I mean, we're just working on the aesthetics and the like. I'm putting in a cannon. Well, it's already in there, but I'm working with a cannon system so you can have cannons that shoot the houses and shoot the buildings and cars and shit like that. So
Oh, that's sick.
it's
Yeah.
gonna be nuts when it's all done, and
Heck yeah.
and then based on that kind of so it's kind of based on three pillars. You have the source, where you have the source engine, and then you have the world, where you have like the voxel terrain, so you can terraform, and then you have the access layer. And the access layer that you see as a player is the play mode, which is like motion match and mutable metahumans
Hmm.
and direct dive cars and all sorts of good stuff. But then
Yeah, yeah. It looks really
you also have
customizable.
right, but then you also have node mode, which is a local LLM directly connected to a headless server. So that your
Hmm.
world becomes persistent, but that world is now talking in real time to a local AI. And so
That's awesome too.
and so and then you have another layer called media mode, which that is just a camera that's controlled by that AI, but then you can have a nice 4 or 8K feed off of and shoot it straight into OBS and shoot it up to your YouTube. And so
Oh, that's so
now
cool.
the AI becomes a
That's so cool.
cameraman. And so instead of watching a
Hmm.
streamer and watching the back of their fucking head, which drives me nuts, right? Because in the game, all you see is the back of
Right.
their head. Well, this stream will actually watch from the front and pick dynamic angles and do camera swoops and shit
Oh,
like
that's cool
that.
too.
Right, because it can do it from a
Dang.
third point of view. So all controlled by
Uh-huh.
AI locally. So it doesn't have any
Wow,
subscription
that's
model
sick.
or anything like that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And then on the build side of things, it's all
It's like a
open.
movie. It's
Right.
like a movie.
It's like a movie studio. That's really what it is. That's what the inspiration behind it is I'm an author and I wanted to make movies forever, right? I wanted my
Yeah, yeah,
stories to
absolutely.
become
That's where I want to go
movies.
to as well.
Right. Well, this
Yep.
is what this is it's a movie studio because you can pump that feed out into OBS, but you can
Exactly. Yeah,
also
you can record your own story and everything.
right, but then you can also
That's
record it out of OBS too. So it goes straight out of OBS into
that's what I'm saying.
8K
Yeah.
footage. And on top of that, here's the best part. The media mode has
Hmm.
something it's already installed called Ghost Replay. So you can say Ghost Replay the last, you know, minute and a half of the battle, and
Oh, that's awesome.
now I can change the coloring and the texture and the time of day and the weather and whatever and refilm the scene over and over and over again.
Wow.
So it becomes
That's
a
insane. That's so
yeah.
cool.
It's nuts. It's nuts. The
Wow.
deeper I got into it, and like I say, a lot of this is AI design. But the deeper I got into this, it
Hmm.
was like, oh, this is big. This is really, really big.
Yeah, yeah.
Jesus
The fact that you're
Christ.
able to put
But
it together too is really impressive, man.
it's just me. And
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude.
so I mean, I was like I say, I'm divorced and my kids are grown, and
Me
so
too.
and I take care of my folks, so I spend a lot of time at home, and so I was like, well, I'll try to put this thing together. And I estimated it
Hmm.
would be about 80 grand, and I'm a lot deeper than that, but I'm okay with it. And
Hmm.
oh, we're so close to
Heck
having
yeah.
such a cool product now. And the idea,
Oh, you already do. Yeah, I've seen the videos are so. It really are. Look, already is cool, dude.
yeah, I
Seriously.
mean, it like I say, it's just based on that open idea. So the idea for a developer, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shut the audio off on the main feed. So I'll go right back. Hold on. Um, Um, and like I say, if I can, I plan on making good dividends on the people that are good to us, if you know what I mean. But anyway, um,
Thanks, man.
video games can be extremely lucrative, and I've worked in print, man. So it's when I look at the margins, if we could just achieve the spark, it's like, oh god, money will not be the issue. If we can achieve liftoff on the engine, then everything goes from there, right? And like I say, how can you not
Absolutely.
with foxes and bunnies killing each other and shooting a
Yeah,
city
exactly.
down, you know, with
I'm
destructible
I'm all about
buildings.
marketing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not. So, yeah, it's always been kind of a problem with me. But but yeah, like I say, so
I'm on the tip
the
of
idea is like, take an idea forward for a verse for a developer. So I have other ideas for verses too. So the three I have now is one I have is an Art Bell talk show type of thing where we do a conspiracy talk show from Argathia, which is the city below Antarctica. And so we're going to do the talk
Okay.
show in there, and then you'll be able to go to the Discord, Art Bell style, and call in crazy person call in, and we'll have this kind of alien
Uh-huh.
guy in Argathia taking calls about conspiracy series shit and stuff like that. And that'll be a live show. That's
I
called
love it.
Verheitverse. And then we have the Tailverse, which is Looney Tunes and GTA mixed together. And then we have Fangverse, which is my old In the Blood vampire series, which I wrote way back in the day, and crossed over with like Gangs of New York and like melee fighting combat style type of gameplay. So those are the three that I'm
Yep.
concentrating on. But the other ones I have ideas for is like a water world one, because the under the water is also
Mm-hmm.
sculptable, so you could make caves and all sorts of cool stuff and make a giant map with like a
Nice.
water world aesthetic. And then obviously swimming
Yeah.
becomes important and those types of things become important, but they're all in
Yep.
the engine. They just need to be turned on and expanded and figured out. Just like I don't have the time to do it all, right? So water would be great, and
Yep.
even with ships and stuff like that, because you could do ship combat and all that. We want all of that in there. So looking for somebody to try to do a water world. Then also Mines of Moria, not trademark infringed, but like a dwarven cavern that is massive, that has all sorts of,
Mm-hmm.
you could do
Oh, that'd be
that in
sweet.
the engine as well. And again, each one of
That would
these
be
could
so cool.
then
Yeah, I've
be
never seen a game like that.
right, but you could totally do it in there, right there at runtime. You don't even have to be a developer for that,
Mm-hmm.
because all your columns and stuff, you just get a static mesh, you import those to the workshop, and then you make a map with a bunch of different terrains that are cave like, and then you just carve out Mines of Moria and put columns where you want them and stuff like that. Hit save button. Now everybody can pull that down and play battles in there and stuff like that, and broadcast from it.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about the idea. It's so cool. It's so freeing if people get behind it. You get like if you got the momentum that Minecraft had behind it for a day and a half, can you imagine how many worlds would be out there
Oh, I
already?
know.
I mean, the worlds are
Right.
already creatable, right? You can already terraform in the game at runtime, save it, upload it to Workshop, subscribe to it, and all your friends can go jump on your world and go run around in it, and then
Yeah,
change it
that's
the way
insane.
they
That's
want
already
to.
awesome.
It's that the fact that that's just already there, that people can't see that, is beyond me. But whatever. But like I say, the I it's my focus is becoming more and more granular to how do I swap out the plants and the terrains with
Mm-hmm.
workshop ones and stuff like that. And it's like I don't want to give the false impression that like we're far away from that. We're not. We're really close to being able to do it. But right now I'm juggling like 700 balls, and that's really where it comes down
Right.
to where it'll settle. But really the last two big bugs in the game are, well, okay, so the mutable character system from Unreal is still a little bit, it's not
Mm-hmm.
hokey, but it's like I'm still learning it, put it that way. But
Right.
once
No,
I
yeah, I've read a lot of places that it's still got a little bit of room for improvement.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, for what we're trying to do, which is let the player represent whoever they hell they want to be, mutable is like
Hmm.
perfect. It can do everything we want it to do.
Is it? Oh,
So,
that's awesome.
yeah, so we'll be able to do everything to the point where people will be able to upload a piece of clothing to the workshop and then use it in the
Hmm.
game. So again,
Nice.
so you'll
That
be
is
able to
awesome. That is
make
so
your
cool.
own clothing and share it and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
again, it's a whole rephase of how games
I
work
mean, that's
because
huge. I mean, you just in that you could have people designing things. I mean, sorry, go on. Again, that sounds awesome.
exactly, but like it's a mutable file for crap sakes, dude. Do you know how big that is? That's like 60K. It's nothing. So you just throw it on
Right.
workshop and everybody can have the damn hat. Why do we have to lock it down
Hmm.
to only the developers have the hat? You know what I mean? It's like silly. So it's like and like for foliage, I've been on the Fab before it was Fab. I was on Workshop or whatever it
Hmm.
was called before that, right? And I collected
Yep.
all the free
Yep. The
things.
Unreal Marketplace.
I probably have 2,000 trees I could upload to Workshop tomorrow
Oh, right.
that you could
Same
use
here.
in
Yeah, I have
any
quite an
terrain.
extensive.
Right. And I'm going to
So
be nice and
for all
say
of the stuff,
these guys
all
made
the other
this.
systems, are we able to? Oops, sorry.
No, go ahead.
For all the other systems and stuff that we use, how do we implement that into it?
What do you mean?
As far as the source code or the engine and stuff,
Well,
it's
it's
just we're able to just utilize a blueprint editor.
yeah, so if you wanted to do something in the game engine, then you would do it through Blueprint
Hmm.
Editor. And we'd probably, for the first couple, we'd
Oh, that's
probably
awesome.
work together. But the idea is that you'll have your own copy of the DCF project here, and you'll be able to remote in,
Hmm.
and then you'll be able to work on your side of whatever you want to work on at that time remotely. And then
Cool.
when you're done with it, you can compile that one and see if it works, but whatever. But there's a main branch one where if we say, okay, we want to commit the
Hmm.
changes, then we bring that to the main one. So, you know,
Cool. That's so
so
cool.
so the idea is that you have the capability, the entire environment from day one, but then you can mess it up and blow it up and say, oh shoot, I just blew mine up, and then just it gets deleted, and we
Hmm.
scrub it,
I
and
need to start over.
a new one comes in, and you start over from there. It never goes to the
That's
window of
awesome.
it compiled because you're getting the freshly compiled package on its own separately. That's
Hmm.
one of the things that Source allows that's really beneficial because we control everything. We control the plugins and everything there. So if you look on the YouTube feed, I'll pull it open here, but you can see our plugins aren't managed like a normal retail Unreal. Retail is done through Marketplace and a bunch of different layers that go through actual internet callbacks, right? But ours is this is the
Hmm.
actual plugins directory, and those are actually engine level laid in plugins at the core level. So most of the plugins are laid in already at the core level right there, and then um, like I say, the rest of it is all ups in the project level in the content directory. So basically, if I open this project, it works like any other Unreal project, right? With widgets and everything else and content browser.
Hmm.
It's just it's already the full thing, and for 120
Right.
gigs,
It's already compiled.
I can. Oh, this compiles perfectly clean. So it's in that sense, it's really advanced in that sense because I can hit the
That's what
button
I was
and put
seeing in
out
the video.
updates.
How
Yeah,
much you want it to be clean.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm a nut for that. Listen, computers, and I've been a technician for a long time. I've said this for a long time. Computers don't make mistakes. People make mistakes, right? And if you get a computer dialed
Right.
in perfectly, it will not screw it up. And so that's with
Hmm.
DCF. It's like, well, if we get it knocked in perfectly and this platform is sitting there, then they can build whatever games they want. I want to play pirates. Okay, get some pirate hats and get some swords and fucking go to town. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like pick from
Mm.
the 18
Hell yeah.
different sword systems that are out there and just turn it on in your verse and say, we're going to do this one today and try it. And everybody likes it or
Absolutely.
doesn't
That's
like
so
it or whatever. And so it's modular to you and your play group to be able to kind of do whatever the hell you want to do. And so, and naturally in every play
mhm.
group, you have kind of the dungeon master anyway. So this one guy goes, oh, I was
Right.
playing the tail verse. We got to play the tail verse. And he fires up a copy and everybody jumps in and they play a tail
Mhm.
verse. And then they play it on YouTube and it gets some attention. And then the real tail verse goes, hey, come over and play in the real tail verse. And they become a character in the actual tail verse and blah, 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 blah. They can go up
Mhm.
from there too. So as a player, they can come in as well, right? I want them to be able to.
Absolutely.
I want them to be able to come in as a player and say, "Oh, I'm this player, but I blah 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 blah." Because a lot of the streamers are popular not because of the game that they play, but because of the group or whoever they
Right.
are or whatever.
Yep.
Well, DCF allows you to manipulate that perfectly into whatever you want that to be,
Yep.
right? Because you make your own universe, and if you want to make it a Fortnite shoot 'em all, okay, go ahead and turn that button on, and everybody's playing Fortnite in your universe. And I fucking hate that
Yep.
building. Cool, break it down. you know, so,
Uh-huh.
so it gives them full control over to doing whatever they want to do. So that's kind of the concept behind it. Is like I say, every time every other game company says lock it down, I've tried to figure out how can I open it up. And now that I'm getting really close to getting it all open, it was a hell of a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. The path here was not easy.
Hell yeah.
but
What's that?
the path here was not easy, but the solution is
Ah,
just
yes.
it's just
Absolutely.
really elegant, and the way that it
Mm.
works is, I mean, motion system, right?
Mhm.
So motion systems integrated in there, and that's just done through the same blueprintology that you probably would have done it. Well, and your guy is motion matching, isn't he? He's Gasp, isn't he?
He is. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So
Yep.
this sandbox character will be very familiar to you because that's exactly what that is.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And so
And It's
now,
it's cool, and you were able to integrate travesty with that as well.
yeah. Oh yeah, I've got that going.
That's
I've got
awesome.
I've got one little hitch with the IK, but he says he's gonna fix it in the update, and he let me know that the update's
Cool.
coming pretty soon. So there's
Yeah,
there
that's what he was saying too.
there's a hitch
I
in.
knew he was really busy, but last year.
Yeah, he's got all sorts of, and then the weather just came through and hit him. So yeah, whatever. I don't know. I live in
Oh, did it?
Utah,
Crap.
so I live
Gotcha.
in yeah, I live in Utah,
I live
so
over in New York.
oh, okay, very cool, very cool. What part of New York?
Yeah, upstate New York.
Really, really. My parents. So we
Yep.
originally came from the Netherlands, and my parents originally settled in Albany, New York, and then we moved out to. Well, we
Okay,
moved
so yeah, I'm two
back
hours
to
from Albany.
Holland. Yeah, we moved back to Holland, and then back to Utah after that. Don't ask why. Anyway.
See, I want to move to Netherlands myself.
Yeah, it's a good spot. It's a good spot. But yeah, you can see that I have all the AAMS incorporation done right there in the Gasp characters. So it's
That's so
already
cool.
all working and everything. Like I say, what I can also do is I can make build pieces out of the jump pads and the balance beams and the zip lines and stuff like that. So in game you could build a zip
And
line and then have it stay there from universe to universe. So you can make parkour
that's
courses
incredible.
and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I'm about to start building with this. Absolutely.
yeah, exactly. You see what I'm saying, right? Like it's already open on the base of the
Yeah,
player. And so I get that the developers get kind of spooked and go, oh my God, I'm going to lose what you have. And it's like, yeah, but you gain time control and weather control and doing whatever you want. And if
yeah,
you
exactly.
like the platformer template is also in there. So you
Mm-hmm.
can make a
Mm-hmm.
platformer level right? And then switch and say, okay, when people will come to this verse, you load into platformer mode and have it be a platformer. So
Yeah, and
it's
that's
just
exactly what I want with my game. That was sort of my go-to from the beginning, was that I was going to have these multiple modes to the game itself.
kind of like Crash Bandicoot type thing.
Well, yeah, exactly. Sort of like a Mario 64 kind of Crash Bandicoot 3D platformer part for one part, and then the other part would be more of like a traditional RPG, health potions and whatnot.
Yeah, because it's got the I don't know if you're familiar with the platforming on the new Unreal. Are you? I don't know what engine
A
version
little
you're.
bit, yeah. I played through it just a little.
Yeah, but basically it's got a whole it's got so you basically from level to level, right? You load a mode, right?
Mhm.
And these modes are completely compatible with our character already. So here he is in the platformer mode, and then I can take
Yeah, it's
him
incredible.
and pop him over to the
Yeah, I can't believe people haven't caught on to how awesome this is.
I, like I say, I've had like the last yeah, it can even look at this. This is gonna blow your mind, but it can side scroll. So you can you can build a custom fucking level with a side scrolling
Mhm.
character.
I mean, I wanted some of that shit in my game to begin with. I mean, literally, I wanted that to be mini games.
It's
I
already
also I want to see
there.
if we could.
It just needs to
Yeah,
be
exactly.
it needs to be leveraged in, and you could literally hit a key and everybody that comes in the game starts in a side scroller
Damn,
game. So I mean it's just it
damn.
and
This is
like I said,
impressive as hell, and you just built it. That's crazy. That
I
you were able to
look
build it out from all of these.
it like I say, it's largely due to AI, right? I mean, it's not just me, but
Mm-hmm.
basically, it's yeah, it can do all of that.
But
It's
they
already
can
got it
follow
all
the
in there.
AI though as well. Right.
Um, Well, and I'm all about creative. I'm all about music. And so I'm big
Me
about
too.
trying
I'm
to
a
bring
musician
in
too.
so AI music is something because I unfortunately have never been very good at playing music. I played trumpet when I was younger, but not great.
Yeah.
And I tried bass when I got older, but I suck. And so and it's not that it's not. I've got a lot of good creative talent, so I shouldn't feel too bad. But my sister can play piano really good, and it makes me really jealous. And so over the last year and a half, I've been doing AI music with Crunch, and God, it's been so
Mm-hmm.
cool to be able to release that
Yeah, I
musically.
bet. Hell yeah.
And then with the Fox on Fiasco Fox, I've been doing music videos with him and stuff like that. And so
Oh,
that's
that's
where
cool.
the inspiration of how we want to handle music and expression in DCF too. Because DCF is it's not about playing it as much as it is about being an actor in it. So the way that we're going to do is expression is when you talk, um, or when the AI talks. The AI does a TTS, so a text to speech, so it can speak in the game
Okay.
as a character, right, at real time. But
Hmm.
then that file is watched by the lips of the metahumans, so the lips will react to the talking, and then the human talking or the
Okay.
player talking will do that audio file, or they can also send it through the TTS system and have it change their voice. So if they want a different voice, they can do it that way, or they can just project their voice out. And again,
Wow.
the only the lips will match that talking. And then through what we call the
Hmm.
expression system is how we're going to do how you do emoting. So kind of we're using the number pad like a two key system. So you'll hit like 1 and 5 will give you, 1 is your mood and 5 is sad.
Hmm.
So you'll kind of just always
Okay.
be sad, or 1 6 is happy, or 1 8 is angry, or 1 9 is whatever. And then 2 is
Okay.
an emote. So that's a full body emote. So okay, like 1 2 1 is the Macarena, 2 5 is the getting jiggy with it or whatever, blah blah blah. And then
Mhm.
3 will be only upper body, so you can walk and still do animations and kick off animations for your
Wow.
person. And then we're also doing it
So layers, cool.
right, and then we'll also do it stacked. So you can do it where you hit the key command and you then your character does that one, and then you hit another key command and another key command and another key command, and it creates a playlist. So your character keeps
Cool.
doing the motions as instructed, or you can interrupt it. Obviously you want to be able to react if you want to
Mhm.
react, right? But then
So basically, you can make your character
those
dance.
those key commands can be set up into playlists and saved onto the workshop. So now you can do a whole dance and all your friends download it. And now, as a TikTok
Uh huh.
dance, all your friends are doing it in the world as whatever
That
you
is so
are in your
sick.
world.
You've got such a great idea.
Isn't that cool? I love that part of it. That one's fun
Yes,
too.
that's so awesome, man.
Because again, I'm trying to make a movie studio, and I want people to be able to
Yeah,
act
that's
in the
exactly what
game,
it sounds like.
right? So it's like, well,
Yep.
I don't necessarily need it to look great when you get shot, but I want you to be able to make it look like it. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it's much more of a movie studio software. So the concept is really for a developer coming in like you would be like, okay, I'm gonna focus on X, Y, or Z as a verse, right? Like Waterworld or this or whatever you come up with yourself, and
Mhm.
then we just say, okay, well, that's going to then focus the development in XYZ's path, and you can just work towards that in the engine, right? All the same time
Mhm.
developing your own
Yep.
IP. You control the YouTube architecture, you control all of that on the back end of it. And I'll give you a
Awesome.
percent of the
Yeah,
company
I'm
because
all
you're
in.
first. Yeah?
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It
Well,
sounds
very
so.
cool.
It is impressive. It doesn't even sound impressive. I'm watching it. It is impressive.
I mean, like I say, I think that
Absolutely.
I've tried to bring it across to developers before, and like I say, they get kind of spooked by it, or something seems very off about it, and then I've gotten people that get downright angry at me. I get some people, and then there's another aspect of the AI which you mentioned as well,
Hmm.
where it's like people get really scared of AI instantly. And DCF is AI
Hmm.
laced. I'm not going to lie about it. It's everywhere in it, right? Like we use it
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah.
It's made to
And
do it,
as
but
long as
it's
I feel like if you're going in saying it, it's not like you're trying to hide it or anything.
no,
So
not at all. I
that's one
really
thing, you
don't
know.
want, like
Exactly.
people have asked me, well, like what are you worried are you worried about copyrighted stuff on Workshop? And I'm like, no, because Workshop has their own legal limits, so you can't do anything that's out of parody anyway on Workshop. So they have their own limit on it, and so
Nice.
I don't have to worry about what people put out there. But
Yeah, exactly. I figured
I'm
that much
pretty
too.
disappointed if you
These
have
companies themselves, they know.
exactly, but I'm pretty disappointed if you have creative freedom that all you can think to do is put Batman in it again. Fuck. Like, come on.
Right.
Can we please move on? So like but that's
Right.
kind of my point behind it. I think any of those kind of attitudes it'll be like, fine, we'll turn that one off. But I mean, it's very possible to say, "Oh, well, you could build a GTA online map in there." Yeah, you could. It could be done.
Yeah.
Except the difference would be that you could blow up the buildings when you're fighting each other, and because the technology's better. It's on 561.
Yep.
We can do stuff in
Hmm.
561 that GTA can't even come close to. So it's like, like that's what's cool about it. And we can the system's even set up to leverage so we can move to 572 too, right? So we can
Nice.
jump to 572 when we get
I like 5.6. That's what I've been building on.
five.
I've tried out 5.7 obviously, and I love it.
5.7 is there's nothing right now that 5.7 offers that is going to benefit DCF from my perspective at this point. At this point, but that's
Okay.
what lot of engine versions did that beforehand too, because DCF started on 5.44, and then we got to 5.6 here in December. So I mean, it's like it takes a while to do an engine jump, but so it's got to be worth it. And 5.7.2 right now is not worth it in my book. And on top of that, when they have a point 0.2, I wait for a point 0.3 because it's guaranteed that they're going to have a bug in it. It's guaranteed that they're going to have a bug in point 0.2. Look back at every Unreal in history. So yeah, so 5.6.1 is what we're sticking with right now, but we'll definitely eventually move over. And like I say, there's a flying system in it. There's more animations in it. There's all sorts of stuff
awesome.
so that we can just keep expanding. So right now my big problems are the Steam sessions. You can host a Steam session, but if you go to join one, it won't let you join it. And I'm just trying to work out that bug. As soon as that bug is worked out, then really the only thing that's left on the overall framework of it is the characters. And once I get that polished out, then really it's about what kind of gameplay do you want to add to make your verse individual or your own thing, right? But again, realize that if you're going to add something, then you're not only adding it to just your verse, you're adding it to everything as well.
Right.
But it gives you incentivized ideas to say, oh, I want to do this because I want submarines, because I want this, blah, 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 blah. Right. But you can take, but then you can take okay, and say if I wanted to do submarines, then I could take the digital dive cars, which are super cool cars, and maybe modify them so that I could use them in the oceanology pack that's already there, and blah, 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 blah. So it just gives you free access to an environment that's already built and ready to go to take whatever you want to try to do with it. Does that make sense? It's like,
yeah, it's awesome.
When I
absolutely.
played Conan, I learned something from that because I played the shit out of Conan, and the reason is because my son was constantly big on Minecraft and kept saying, "Dad, you should try Minecraft," and I kept trying it and going, "This graphics suck. I don't want to play a game with graphics that suck." And he's all like, "Oh, they're retro." We don't get along on that, anyway. So he found Conan at one point, and he's like, "Dad, you should check that one out. It's got really cool build parts." And I went nuts. I spent like 6 months in that game, and I built an entire kingdom. So I got really sick of kind of starting out with a rock and a stone, right, in all those games. And I had to restart that game dozens of times because I fucked it up horribly bad. And it took me a while to learn survival games, a while. But anyway, so then I built this.
They're hard.
I built this like really good base, and then my son and his cousins started using that base to play the game out of. And I started to realize, oh wow,
that's sick.
like I'm giving them a really good advantage by having this home base that they can come back to and restock, and I have everything ready for them and stuff like that. And that base then expanded into a kingdom, and we called it the Kingdom of Akas. And I actually even have YouTube videos of this thing. But we built this whole kingdom out, and what the idea was is we actually had a headless server hosted on like one of those services. I can't remember what it was called, but it was for Xbox.
I know what you're talking about. Yep.
But instead of starting Conan in the desert with a rock and a stick, we'd pick you up, put you on a horse, you'd come back to the castle, we'd give you gowns, and you'd start as a prince or a princess of the realm, and then you'd go play the game
that's so cool.
with the advantages of a princess or a princess, which was very good, like way good. So it made the game a lot funner and a lot easier to play. So a lot of people played Conan through that method, saying, oh, this is a better way to play Conan. And that's where the whole idea came from. Like, why can't we do this with everything? And then I wanted to do a sitcom in Atlas. And actually, here I'll mute it, but I'm doing the Akas video right now, so you can see it on. But so this is that Conan. there it goes. But yeah, it just became a massive, massive kingdom, and we had all sorts of stuff going on in it, and so it just became this really wild place to start the game from. But all of it was player created in the game, and it shaped the whole game in a whole new way. And so that's where the whole concept of DCF kind of started in. And then I moved to Atlas, and Atlas was again crashing all the time. And I tried to get with the developers again, and they weren't very nice.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I started kind of entertaining the idea of, well, Unreal's sitting right there, and I know how to do networking. Like I knew how to do headless servers and stuff like that. So, like why
Mm-hmm.
not? Why not build a game
Hell
where they
yeah.
can just put in whatever they want to put in? And like I say, Conan frustrated the crap out of me because every 4 months they were getting me for $16 for 6 new bricks. You know what I mean? It was like, come on.
Wow.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
can't do that, and it's
that's
like
such a ridiculous thing.
it's
Yep, I know. Yeah, the incentives they give you to keep playing are not enough, really.
well, I mean, it's
It's a
it's
joke
not
sometimes.
about that. It's about, look, you can't monetize something that I can make so simply. That's not okay. Like, I get it. If you want to
Yep, I
monetize
agree with you there.
something, you know what I mean? Like, I get it, but you don't want to do pay to win. So you're going to monetize it so that I can't look like Spider-Man unless I want to look like unless I pay 50. That doesn't, you can't limit the technology. Eventually it'll break out of its own shell. And so, like I say, DCF
Yeah.
is basically like, well, let's just let it break out of its shell. Let them come up with whatever they want. Because, like, all the models that you see in this, you could easily put in DCF. They're just texture files. They're really
Yep.
nothing, right? Like, and Conan was Unreal 4.25.
Hmm.
So, you know, I don't even think that they've updated the engine because I don't think they can. Because when I talked to Funcom back in the
Right.
day, they said there's no way we could update our engine. But again, this all happened in the engine, and so we had built a whole community in the engine. And then I turned around and did it again in Atlas and showed, oh, if you come in as a pirate king or a pirate prince, that game's a hell of a lot more fun than washing up on the beach with, again, a rock and a stick. You know what I mean? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
they all start in the
Yep.
same place, and it's just like, that's not how life works, man. So
Mhm.
that's, I wanted that ability to give
Have you ever played
privilege.
or heard of Pale World?
I have, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Have you heard of Pale World yet?
I have heard of it,
So
yeah.
that's sort of where I learned how to mod,
Okay,
was in that game. I know it's really new, but that's what kind of drove me into Unreal.
that's impressive because that game only came out, what, 3 years ago or 4 years ago? And you're pushing
Yep.
games on Steam? What else is your background? You're not
Well,
just a
I've only been doing it
gamer.
for about 15 months.
Okay, but you're not just a gamer. What else are you doing? Are you tech
I'm
or
a musician, and then I also for my main job I work with individuals who live with disabilities.
really? Oh, cool.
Right. Yeah, yeah. So I help them out. I give them their medications and stuff. I've got a couple different houses that I go to, but you know,
Okay, yeah, my daughter did the kind of like, it's called angel wings out here, but they call everything something to do with angels out
okay, yep,
here. But basically, she went to elderly people's houses and helped them with things and stuff like that. That's super cool work, man. That's
yep,
good stuff. Good stuff.
yeah, yeah. I
Well,
love it. It's super rewarding.
so yeah, the other idea that I had too for you, because you are a musician, I saw that, and you kind of strike me as the type that could make this kind of work. Is, look, the Tailverse is this crazy chaotic universe, and we have all these different characters, and the idea for the Tailverse is that we have different people take the different characters. So we have a YouTube that's the Tailverse YouTube, but then we also have a Fiasco Fox YouTube. We also have a Ruckus Thump YouTube. We also, all the characters have their
Okay,
own YouTube as well. And so we're going to be broadcasting all of them mixed together and doing, mix albums and different stuff like that, all creative
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
collaboration. And Looney Tune skits and shit like that is all based on
Hell yeah.
that in that studio, right? Or in the Tailverse. And I think you could do really well as like Ruckus Thump or one of the other character, or you
I
could
would
come
love
up
to.
with your own character. And then the Fangverse is all vampires, so we need vampires there. So if you want to come up with a vampire character that could live in that universe
I would love
and
to do that too.
broadcast. And then the last thing that we have is called the Verheid universe, and that's or Verheid verse. Verheid is Dutch for truth, and that's the conspiracy
Okay.
show. The idea
Okay.
behind that is to have multiple hosts that host the show, but you'll basically have a copy of the world that you can go to and then host the show in there, and you can run the Discord that night. But it's an overnight, so it's I'm not sure if you're familiar with the old Art Bell
Oh yeah.
talk show. Okay, so
Yep. Yep.
overnights
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
come into the Discord, they can talk crazy conspiracy theory with the host of that
Yep.
night. And because the studio is DCF, we can pass the host anywhere. So if you were interested
That's
in
awesome.
hosting that show a night a week, you could do that as well, and just
Absolutely.
late night hosting and stuff like that. So like I say, even inside the current infrastructure, the opportunities are endless. But in your case, with your Unreal experience, you could push the envelope and really kind of push it into another section. And like I say, all that IP becomes yours. I don't have anything to do with that. So it's all you. And if we ever have problems, we just go our separate ways. It makes it very simple.
Gotcha.
But at the same time, and you can carry with you so much, right? So I mean, like I
Right.
say, it's none of the stuff that we've done is hidden. I've done tutorials on how to build the source engine and stuff like that are on our channel. So if somebody wanted to follow my crazy ass path and had close to $120,000 to do it, go for it. You know what I mean? Like, but otherwise,
Right.
it's gonna take somebody doing that to be able to set it up again like this. But the idea is just to be open, so you can do it your way and bring your idea of it to it. You know what I mean? So the
Hell yeah.
idea is
Look.
play the current game would probably be the first step, and say, okay, this is I want to come up with kind of come up with your idea and say, okay, let's do this verse, and then kind of pitch a verse,
Okay.
and we can go from there. And if you can't come up with one, or if you get
You
stuck,
got it.
just let me know, and we can go from there.
You got it, man.
Does that sound good?
I really appreciate it. Yes, absolutely. Thank you
Cool.
so much for this opportunity.
Oh no, yeah, like I say, I'm stoked that you're into it, and I'm stoked that you get your head around it, right? Like the other day, I had a streamer that was looking at it, going, "Well, how haven't I seen this?" And it's like, "Well, I'm a hermit," and it's just like, yeah, I look at my YouTube
Hmm.
videos, and they've got like 100 views, and it's like, yeah, I kind of see where nobody's seen it, and so maybe that's why people aren't excited about it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But
Yep, I think so.
if
Because
you
as soon
know
as I go show
creative
this
people,
to
yeah,
my 11-year-old, they're gonna go nuts for it.
I I think
Because just the
so.
idea of the builder and build your own universe and make your own movies, it's insane. It's awesome.
I like I say, everybody I've explained it to so far has gotten either upset by it, or it's very clearly beyond what they're able to scope, and that kind of sucks.
Hmm.
You know what I
I can
mean?
understand
Like,
why somebody at first might be worried about their own IPs and stuff like that, but if you, I mean, you own them and you build your own characters that you feel comfortable with building with. If you don't feel comfortable with putting it in the universe, then you don't.
yeah, exactly. It hands the player back creative control of the universe that they're in. One of the biggest frustrations that I
Hmm.
have with GTA Online is that there's people in there that are just looking to cause me grief and problems.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's like I just want, and I don't have any animosity. If you want to play GTA like that, go ahead, fine. It's just that I'm sitting here grinding and this is my world. I don't really give a shit about what you're doing in it. So I want to have control
Hmm.
over it. I don't want Rockstar to tell them, oh, yeah, it's okay if you buy a shark card and get an oppressor, and then now you can go give all these
Yep.
guys crap. Like, no, I want it where
Yeah,
I
yeah, it's
can
bullshit.
control all of that, right? So sure, if you want to have a toxic world and have people shoot each other, there's going to be people who want that and they'll show up at your world. But now you have the ability
Hmm.
that if somebody wants to go in their world and just garden there, they can do that as well and not have to worry about you.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So, because
Yep.
I think a lot of
Mhm.
people like GTA is it's a life simulator, right? I mean, I get it's crime and
Mhm.
stuff like that, but I have seen so
Right, but it's
many
still.
like I'll say like women players in video games are completely underrepresented, and GTA is actually a very good female game if
Hmm.
they're allowed to just put the violence down, because you'll find out that
Hmm.
females will become amazing drivers in the game and stuff like that. So they're not necessarily tuned into the Call of Duty shoot them in the head, shoot them in the head, shoot them in the head
Yeah, yeah,
violence
hell
type
yeah.
of thing.
They don't,
But
and I get it. Yeah, why they wouldn't be.
driving a team away from a bank, from like a bank heist or something like that, that's a
Uh
whole
huh.
different story, man. That's a whole different thing. And
Yep.
so
Agreed.
I really wanted to create an environment where it was like, listen, if that's what you want to do here, this is your world. Go ahead and do that. If you just want to farm
Mm.
and hang out and do whatever you want to do in your world, then please do. And I also want you to be able to say, but I also want to be able to invite my friends in and turn it into a battle royale where we're shooting up, grandma's china and
Yep.
everything in my world. And yeah, absolutely, go for it. That's the idea. Is the fact is
Right.
that you have a world that somebody comes in and does something you don't like, you go, well, no, that didn't happen. You know what I mean? They have full control over that. So that's the idea,
Yep.
is the idea of giving that freedom of a GTA type world, but then not the freedom, or the lack of control that Rockstar and all the other game companies have to do to be able to sell you more product.
Yep.
This is like saying, nah,
Right.
build your own world, and you're going to get
Oh,
people
yeah.
that
And
never
go for it.
even build a world. They're just going to visit worlds. They're just going to go from world to world to
Hmm.
world and just
Oh
see
yeah,
what
I
other
imagine a
people are
lot of players are
doing.
going to be like that. To be honest,
Well, and also,
I do
so
that in a lot of these builder games
right, and
where
then
I ended up. I'll go explore what other people have done.
right, exactly. That's what a lot of us are doing, and so, but not only that, on top of that, when you go to somebody else's world, if it's a headless world and they have that local LLM running in that headless world, which also talks to a small MySQL instance, it means that if you've been to that world before, a character will come up and say your name and say, "Hi, welcome back." Yeah, you were doing this last time, because the
Hmm.
world
That's
will
so awesome.
remember you, because that local LLM
Hmm.
can track you through the MySQL database. So it's the local
That's
LLM
awesome.
is talking to the world directly, and you literally be able to open a
Hmm.
panel and say, "Hey, world, do this, this, and this," and it will take that and translate it into text, shoot it into the AI loop, and then the AI will say, "Oh yeah, change the time, change the sun color to blue, blah 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 blah, whatever you want to do." Because the
Uh huh.
AI has console command control over the headless server, so it can do
That's
everything.
so amazing.
It's
That's
just
so amazing.
nuts, dude.
Yeah,
It's just nuts. So,
that's so awesome, bro. I
yeah.
love it.
So, all right. Well, like I say, I think that
Yeah,
probably the best thing to do
this is so cool.
is play it. You got those codes, right? If you need some more codes, let me know.
Yep, sure do. Yeah, I'm
You
about to download it right now.
Yeah, you basically got an unlimited spigot of codes that you want. I just want them used, and and like I say, remember that worlds are already uploadable to Workshop. Right now, everybody that uploads a world gets a little user generated map icon. But once you come up with your verse, I will give you the ability to make your own icon in there, so you'll have a custom icon in there, and so it'll all be already
Cool.
there. But like I say, I was like looking at the fab stuff today and going, God, if the workshop
Hmm.
stuff was up, even if the workshop stuff is not up, I was thinking maybe I'll take that castle that just came out today and throw it in the game.
Hmm.
Like just throw it by the garage and
Hmm.
say, there, look, there's a castle in the game now. You know what I mean? Because that's how
Heck yeah.
easy content
Yeah.
is to bring in. And so it's like, well,
Nice.
okay, but workshop is going to be able to do that soon. So I keep pushing myself to making it. I can make it like my game Creative Continents has 50 different biomes that you can terraform with, and the trees fall and all the rocks will
That's awesome.
roll and stuff like that. And it's super cool. And I could do that to DCF, but the idea more to DCF is like get it to crank open so everybody can do it. And the minute everybody can do
Hmm.
it, then
I
you're
can
going to
tell
have,
that's what you want.
yeah, you're going to have whole biome sets, right? You're going to have like, you'll be able to pick like, there's basically 255 different layers of biome that you could have, right? So you could basically, for each one of those layers, you could say, okay, I want this to be a desert floor, and I want these plants and these rocks and these trees. And now the next layer, I want this to be that floor and these trees and these rocks and these, all the way through 255 custom ones. So, I mean, it's just going to
That's
be,
sick.
what could people come up with? I mean, already right now, if you go up into the upper teens, you'll get like these grid ones from Tron and shit like that. So you can build whole grid worlds and stuff like that. So it's
Damn.
already, and that's just like I say, it's just right now. It's all just time, right? It's like I can do this and I can do
Hmm.
that and I can do this, and I'm constantly chasing the bigger bugs, trying to get that worked out of the system. But like I say, I'm so close
Hmm.
now where it's like, God, if I get the Steam bug, and I feel like I'm finally getting close to that one. If I get the Steam bug out
Hmm.
and it becomes multiplayer online, that's a whole new level of fun, right? I mean, you drive cars,
Hmm.
you race, do whatever you want in your own custom worlds. So yeah,
Hmm.
so
Can't
that
wait.
that's my big
Let
one.
me know what I can do for that.
Um, well, like I say, that is, I don't know. Do you know much about multiplayer? It's not even
I've just
multiplayer,
started
really.
learning it. I've got a couple books that I've been reading.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
Two books I
So,
got. Multiplayer game development. It's from uh Packet. I don't know if you've ever read their stuff.
mm,
And then just the C++ scripting book. But that's what I've been trying to learn next was multiplayer.
right, right. Okay. Well, and like I say, ours is native multiplayer, so
So no.
you'll be able to drop in that the concept that I have is that you would come up with your own verse, and then you could kind of take most of the stuff that you've worked on Imagine Bravery, and kind of transverse it too. You know what I mean? Not
Yep.
replace it, and I wouldn't say give up on that project at all, but at the same time, then now
Right.
you could take it forward in a different
Yeah,
direction
exactly. And
here.
build within this though.
You could. I mean, I'm not saying you couldn't do the whole thing in it, but I also want you to understand that you can do. That's your call. It's your IP. But again, yeah, it. I would be if you said, dude, I want to take my original concept of game of Imagine Bravery and transverse it into DCF. Then we'll give you a compiled. That you're all right.
Yeah, I'm okay. This chair just is shitty.
But I could basically, so what would happen in that is if you said, okay, I'm going to take Imagine Bravery and I'm going to transverse it into DCF, I'll give you a compiled version of Imagine Bravery and send it back to you. So that way you have that to put out on Steam, but then with all the DCF
Hmm.
background, so you can use all the DCF ability and you'd still be able to do that. I wouldn't do that for a lot of other
Yeah, I think
studios, but if you wanted to do that, I would definitely be open to it. Because I do see that you'll probably
okay,
look
my
at
friend.
this and go, well, wait a second, I could do that, and I could do that. Oh, no, and in a couple days, you could have a multiplayer game of your game ready to ship. So
Hmm.
it's going to be tempting one way or another, right? So, um,
Yeah, it's super impressive already. It looks it.
The hell
You
is
still there?
happening? Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I was looking around the project. But anyway,
Okay.
yeah. So,
No, you're okay.
but yeah. Once you come up with like, play it, learn the system. You know, if you have any questions about play or that type of thing, that kind of thing, I run it all on readmes. So basically, what I'll do is I'll start stacking you the readme, and you can see the DCF readme,
Yeah, yes,
and
please.
then you'll have a verse
Yep.
readme that will be your readme, and so you can track that one inside of the. So anyway, the readme files are also AI training files that I've built out, and so you can
Okay.
localize that. Also, if you ever had like extra hardware and wanted to set up a local LLM to help you out in your studio, I could help you rebuild that as well. I'd be happy to do that. Um, but um,
Okay.
but yeah, that's listen. And kind of circling back to the whole AI debate thing, I get it that people are trepidatious about it. I can tell you this. When
Mm.
I was around when the internet came around and everybody was doing the exact same thing. I don't like the internet. It's scary. It's
Mm.
big. I don't know what it is. And the people who thought that way wound up broke. That's all I can tell you. Right? Like
Yep.
they didn't catch
Yep.
the wave. And right now I'm telling you, everything in me says that we have to embrace AI and move forward with it,
Oh, absolutely.
not backwards. And everybody that's saying, "Oh no, we have to put our heels in the dirt," they're saying that, but then they turn around and they open GPT to ask the next question that they're working with. So
Yep.
you're already working with
Even if
AI.
you're just searching Google at this point, you are
If you use Chrome,
somehow, you know.
if you use Chrome, you're on AI. If you use Windows and you've updated recently, you use AI because it's got Copilot built into the
Yep.
kernel now. So it's like there's no escaping it. So it's like, okay, can we direct it? And if we direct it, what can we do to maybe open things back up and instead of making all this profit mongering that's going on right now, getting back to
Hmm.
look at the technology that we just put out on the market that makes everybody obsolete. And like I say, you know, the right kid, the right 15-year-old kid that's GTA obsessed could make GTA 6's map in DCF in a day if you think about it.
Damn.
Think about GTA.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
It's not that
Yep. Oh, yeah.
complex
Just
math.
smashed it.
Yeah, exactly. The map wise, it's not that complex. So if you give them the ability to tune that playing concept into whatever it can be, because we all know that Unreal can do whatever the fuck you want to play. People always ask me, "Well, what do you do in your game?" And it's like, "Well, what kind of ever the hell you want?" Right? Like I don't know.
Mhm.
So, but that's the point is like it's got you we can with just a plug-in or two we can expand it to be able to do multiple other things. And then also the
Mhm.
architecture, as you learn the architecture of the whole system, you'll learn this, but it's also based on gameplay ability system, which is
Yeah.
gas.
Yeah. I saw it. Gases.
So
Yeah.
basically, modders can build in a whole routine of play, a whole play loop, and put it in there
Mhm.
and fuck with it and do whatever they want with it, and then and plug it in and out and whatever. And if it crashes because it's gas, it doesn't crash the whole game. It just says, "Oh, this ability, your sword fighting fucked up." Or you're this fucked
Oh,
up, or
right.
you're
Yeah.
that
I've
fucked
seen
up.
that. Yeah.
So modders can sit there and debug at real time on their own mod.
That's sick.
It's gonna be nuts because eventually, if people finally get a hold of it, you know how many play modes happen in a year, and you know where are we a year from now, being able to create movies? Because like I'm already
Mhm.
talking to the AI about directing and how you know if somebody asks for a Quentin Tarantino feel as opposed to a Francis Ford Coppola feel that she needs to understand how those questions work for cinematography so that when your stream comes out of
Mhm.
your media tower from your verse it fits the cinematography that you want, right? Like if you want it to be feel
Right.
like if you want it to feel like a Tarantino movie, or if you want it to feel like a Nolan movie or something like that, then you just tell your
Yep.
AI, hey, our universe feels like this, and it'll start tweaking the fucking sky to make it look the right way. I mean,
That is so cool.
you know,
That is so cool.
yeah, because it's it's like a well educated cinematographer already,
Hmm.
because it's basically got the whole library of all movies ever, and it already knows it
Hmm.
all, and then basically you say, oh well, I like this or I like that, and because it's got MySQL database capabilities, it can also remember things about you. So if you say I like Quentin Tarantino, then all of a sudden your shit starts to
Hmm.
look like Quentin Tarantino. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Just because you said it.
Yep.
Because the AI said, "Oh well, yeah, okay, you like Quentin Tarantino. I'm going to do the flash cuts, and
Yeah,
I'm going
yeah.
to do
Let's see if this is
these."
gonna be
And
a positive response.
exactly. And as it gets more and more response from the people in the universe, it's then dictating the feed that's going out of the universe as well. So that's just, it's nuts to think about. But yeah, camera operators, especially in Unreal, are super easy.
Hmm.
So that AI just
Mm.
says to the media client, run pattern 64, and the camera flies a certain object around a certain actor, and it's attached, and it does a perfect pass
Damn.
by, and it already has obstacle avoidance or obstacle disappearance, where it can make everything disappear in between you and the subject, and whatever the fuck it wants to do, it already has it on just on the basic, right? It's very simple to control. And now, because we've separated all three out in a different system in DCF, you have this kind of wild over control that I don't even know how it changes things, to be honest with you. Because
Hmm.
movies, we look at, okay, so let me give you an idea now, right? Okay, so Chat GPT, Grok, all the major LLM models, and I'm actually gonna